Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and you're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 19th year. So honored to be doing a special remote from MCRD. We're specifically in the MCRD Museum. Shout out to my friend and colleague, Colonel Jim Grooney, who has lined up an amazing lineup all day long. And we're going to end up with some superstars over here talking about Human Performance Division. Melissa Mahoney, she's the director of the MCRD Human Performance Division. How you doing there, Melissa?
Great. How are you?
How long have you been with this division?
Well, the program as a whole, it's had some different names, but since 2008. But I've been on Depot as an athletic trainer since 2003.
As an athletic trainer, can't
Yes.
wait to get into that story over there. And joined by your colleague, Bonnie Keating, a certified strength and conditioning specialist with the division. How long have you been doing this role?
So I've been working with the Marine Corps since 2008, but this role specifically just under nine months.
So have you always been into training and human conditioning and all that business?
Yeah,
it looks like you have.
I was an athlete growing up and in college, and soccer and track and field mostly. So
Okay, let me guess. Okay, so sprinter?
no,
Okay, I'm not done.
I get that a lot though.
Okay, shot putter? Okay, no. But you got the arms to the shot. Okay, pole vaulter?
No.
Okay, steeplechase. I'm going to go through every single until we waste all 35 minutes of the interview.
I did the running without the jumping.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I'm a distance runner, yeah.
What was it, 1,500?
Nope, too short still. So I specialize in the 5 and 10K in college.
I was going to get to those eventually.
Okay, sorry.
Did you set any records at all? What was your...
No, in cross country, I had a couple course records. I was a Division III All-American.
what school?
Frostburg State University.
Okay, sure.
And then I transferred to San Diego State my junior year.
Did you... I'm an Aztec also. Did
Nice.
you go in the track team as well?
I did first season.
Okay.
And then by then I was too old. And I lost my eligibility.
I'm not sure if he was too old. He's maybe used him in years of your eligibility.
Right.
How about you, Melissa? You an Aztec also?
I am an Aztec also.
Very,
yes.
very good. And what was your major there?
Athletic training, kinesiology with an emphasis in athletic
So
training.
let me see here. God, was Robert Lee there when you were there?
Gosh, I don't remember that name.
Who was the trainer at San Diego State Athletics?
It was Gary Johnson,
Okay, so it was
Carolyn
after-
Peters, Mark
Okay.
Gaines.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're a lot younger than me, so it wasn't during the years that I was going there when they just got running water into the school and that aspect of it. I'll start with you on this, Melissa. What's the mission of the division?
Really to optimize physical training, mitigate injury by using evidence-based programming and athletic trainers in the forward training area. So really making sure that the PT program is gradual, evidence-based, science-backed, and that we do all we can to train them tough, but mitigate injury at the same time. So smarter, not harder.
Right. And so what things have you done to make it smarter, not harder?
I would say the thing that's been most impactful is education. So primary injury prevention is preventing an injury from ever occurring. And that's really our biggest focus is what can we do to prevent the injury from occurring? A lot of that is educating the drill instructors on the smarter, not harder. Like you could make it tough for the recruit without breaking them. Education for the recruits on injury prevention, rewriting the physical training playbook, which is a big component of what Bonnie has done. Making sure that they have proper equipment, all of the things that we would do with like a college or professional team, but it's also new to the Marine Corps, so it's had a pretty big impact in preventing injuries from ever occurring.
How about nutrition?
We do have nutrition as well. We don't have a dietitian on staff, but we do have one headquarters Marine Corps who oversees all of the chow hall menus and things of that sort. But in the last 10, 15 years, We've done a lot more with supplemental feeding, so making sure that they're specific PT events, if it's not followed within 60 minutes by a chow period, they get a post-exercise nutritional supplementation. We bridge the caloric gap at night with a performance nutrition pack, being really strategic on when they get fed and what.
I love the fact you're so data-driven, and we all know that data does drive us. Heaven forbid there's actually some evidence behind something that we do in this area as well. So Bonnie, when you work with, whether it's the DIs or the recruiters, or you work with the Marines themselves, do any of them give any pushback, or they know, no, they're out there to actually help me not get injured, because an injured Marine doesn't mean they can go out and do their warfighting work, correct?
I found that if I get any pushback, it's because lack of understanding of what I'm asking them. So I kind of reflect back and saying, how can I communicate this, what I'm better to them, so they understand what I'm asking of them. I think once they feel empowered, once you teach them aspects of training, a better way of looking at it, train smarter, not harder. Because up until usually the point in which I have communication with them, everything's 100% all or nothing kind of mentality, and you have them kind of step back and learn a more efficient way to be better at whatever they're training specifically.
Right. So unless you were living in the space station Mir, that people know that we have an obesity problem, definitely in this country, to say the least. Certainly the world is not too far behind in this. And, of course, childhood obesity is at epic proportions, which was only going to turn into diabetes, and it's going to, if we don't do something about it, crush our health system in that aspect of it. Does the current fitness level of the recruits better, the same, or worse than many years ago?
I would say there's a large variety of fitness levels. I think years ago it was generally very similar. So we get very good athletes, and then we get recruits that did not do a lot of physical activity leading into training.
Is there a recruit that will get turned down to be a recruit because there's no way they can do the program, or no, we're going to work with them so he or she can get into that fighting weight, so to speak?
Unless they're injured or refusing to train. Otherwise, if they're there to train, we try to do the best we can and train them to be ready to graduate.
Do you see folks that have come in way overweight, losing weight pretty quickly?
Usually what happens is they lose a lot of weight quickly before they come. And
okay.
So they struggle with keeping that off due to metabolic reasons.
Okay, so so they can't come in until they've done that weight loss.
Correct.
Okay, that sounds good. So do you work, Melissa, with the mental aspect of the fitness as well?
Loosely. We have a mental health unit, and we have counseling groups, but we do, get after the mental resiliency. We meet with those counselors each week for the recruits who are in the medical rehab platoon who may have an injury that has held them back. We will see frequently when they're pulled away from their team, just like an athlete. If you're taken away from the team, it really affects your mental health. So we want to make sure that they're engaged. They know they're still part of the team. We have a lot of fitness programs for them within the Human Performance Center to keep them engaged, keep those endorphins going.
So this is it's relatively new, the work with sports medicine and all this business, correct?
Relatively new, yeah. The sports medicine reconditioning team, which is the Navy sports medicine program, started in 2000. And then the Marine Corps' injury prevention program accompanied that starting in 2003, but up to its full capacity in 2008. Right,
exactly. And are you just constantly looking at different metrics to say that, okay, this worked fine here, maybe we need to try this type of an exercise or this type of training or whatever?
Both. So we're constantly looking at metrics. There are some metrics we continuously look at, like physical fitness scores. And so back to the fitness coming in, we have the initial strength tests that they have to conduct, and they have to meet a minimum physical standard before they can come in to recruit training. If they've met that standard, we will work with them to get them up to the Marine Corps standard for graduation. But we're always looking at that score. The run in particular is a big indicator of injury risk. So looking at stress fracture rates, musculoskeletal injury drop rates, how those may have changed and what may have contributed to that. We have a lot of personalities and a lot of transient positions with the drill instructors leaving every 3 years. So I tell my staff, just because we tried something and it didn't work 4 years ago, what's different now and what may help us to get it enacted now, if it is something that is truly evidence-based, that has been proven to work in other arenas. Let's try just maybe in a different way to get it in.
Well, obviously that's a fundamental thing of success is, it didn't work here, but maybe if we tweak it this way, you don't have to rewrite the whole script. Maybe you will, but you're not sure unless you do that little tweak. Melissa Mahoney is the director of the MCRD Human Performance Division, joined by her colleague, Bonnie Keating, certified strength and conditioning specialist. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 19th year. Brought to you by the amazing folks at Mission Fed Credit Union, 6 decades of doing great things. For people in San Diego County, whether it's food insecurity, whether it's literacy, whether it's the arts, they are just doing phenomenal things. You mentioned about some type of test they have to take before they be recruited. I know I would fail that test. I might not have failed it when I was, back in the day. But what are the minimums you have to do in that test?
So for male, for everyone, the test consists of a run, either push-ups or pull-ups, and then the plank. For everyone, they have to be able to plank for 40 seconds. And again, this is just to come in. They have to pass the Marine Corps PFT, which is a bit higher.
Right.
The run for the males, they have to run 1.5 miles in 13 minutes and 30 seconds. The females have...
I think I could walk that.
The females have 15 minutes to complete that 1.5 miles. And then for pull-ups and push-ups, I'm going to screw this up. I think the males are a minimum of 3 pull-ups or 45 push-ups, and the women are 1 pull-up or I can't remember.
And are they timed? I mean, you can't do 3 pull-ups in one day. You have to do this within.
Correct. Yeah, it's get up on the bar, and if you drop from the bar, you're done.
And then what happens?
What happens?
I mean, so you have to go back and try it again, or you're done.
So if they don't pass that test or fail a component of it, they get dropped to what's called the physical conditioning platoon within the special training company, which holds those who are having physical conditioning issues and medical issues. And then we have a team there of strength coaches and athletic trainers that work with them to get them up to speed on that specific level.
What the ball game is, you want them up to speed.
Yes.
Yeah. No. Exactly. So I want to know about the Marine Corps Marathon that you just participated in, Bonnie. I heard you did it. Jim said you did it in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Or was it 2 hours and 30 minutes?
It was 2 hours and 53 minutes.
Oh my goodness. Is that your all-time best?
No.
That is unbelievable.
My fastest is 2:40. I did that in Chicago.
That's a famous marathon. That's a great marathon over here. So how many marathons have you done?
Probably over 50. When I was younger, I used to run a lot more. Now
so you did 50. Oh, it's a little bit less than Jim's done, right?
Just one less.
Okay, just one less than Jim's done, and we're here.
Yeah.
I'm going to hear from this after this interview. You done any marathons, Melissa?
I actually have. Many years ago, I did the Marine Corps Marathon, and it was not quite twice as long as it took you to do it. So, what's that saying? Those who can do and those who can't coach. That's why I'm more in a coaching position than a doing position.
No, first of all, you finished it. And
yes.
There's a lot to be said about that. There's a lot to be said about that as well. So moving forward, how much are we using? I'll start with you on this, Bonnie, and you jump into Melissa. How much are you using new technology for these types of training, or are you not?
So mostly the tech I would use would be like on an individual basis, like recording, running mechanics, slowing it down, giving, visual feedback for learning specifically to help them avoid injury, become more efficient. And at a large scale, like company size, platoon size, it's more of trying to get them to learn the basics of movement and just foundational movement patterns and consistency and frequency. As basic as that might sound, it's the most effective in a large scale like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. We're chatting with Melissa Mahoney. She's the director of the MCRD Human Performance Division, joined by her colleague, Bonnie Keating. certified strength and conditioning specialist. When we come back from break, I want to talk a little bit more about the importance of what you noted here, Bonnie, quality over your quantity. And then something I think that everybody always asks about. I think I was telling one of the folks here, it might have been Colonel Peter, that my buddy out of nowhere, high school best friend, decided to join the Marines. And I go, what made you think you could do this? Well, this guy was in great shape anyway, so he was like number one in his PT anyway, for God's sake. But there are a lot of folks that would not have been, so how do you prepare them for boot camp when we return? Chatting with our friends from the Human Performance Division for MCRD. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and we'll be right back after this quick message.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we're chatting with our good friends from the Human Performance Division of MCRD, Melissa Mahoney, Director of the Performance Division, joined by our colleague Bonnie Keating, Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist. This is a special remote, broadcast we can call it here from MCRD. We're right in the beautiful MCRD Museum, and it's been a great day of just chatting about everything so appropriate to end with human performance and so forth in this area. So you had written, about how important it is. It's the quality over quantity in terms of making sure that whatever you're doing physical fitness-wise. Explain that.
So, like I said previously, a lot of the information or encouragement that recruits have gotten from their drill instructors is, faster, do it faster, more. And so kind of tactfully getting them to understand quality over quantity, moving properly over, weight or intensity. And then once they understand how to do that, building off of that, but teaching that in a very short amount of time.
do they do a lot of weight training?
There's elements of training where they have a circuit course. There's where they're moving their own body weight, carrying gear, awkward gear. So it's a lot of moving a lot of awkward weight. Right.
And is that because when they're carrying 50-pound packs, or they have to go through the crucible or whatever the case may be, they better be at top shelf?
Right. It's more realistic to their real environment that they're going to have.
Right. Exactly. So how do you prepare somebody for boot camp that looks like they're going to have a tough time getting through it?
That's a great question, Bonnie.
The most important part is recognizing your population right away and figuring out what's appropriate. With a variance in population, you have to get pretty, you have to learn how to do it fast. So in training, we've put them into ability groups for running, which is definitely important so that the more fit can at least maintain their fitness and the less fit can get fitter. But prior to trying to educate them on not a lot of running, but gradual increase in intensity and load over time. But getting that information out is something we're currently trying to do on giving good information so they don't overtrain. A lot of times they'll just think they have to do a lot of running before they come, and they end up with with some injuries because of it.
Right. I mean, obviously, some of the zillion metrics you deal with, of course, probably most important of them all are how many of these folks were keeping fit and are not, out sidelines because of whether they've twisted an ankle or they've done something to their knee or their back or whatever. Do you have the metrics that say, since you folks have been implementing this, are injuries in Marines who have lost days out, doing whatever have dropped dramatically?
Yes, from the inception of the program, 2007, before we embedded athletic trainers in each battalion, our musculoskeletal drop rate was about 10%, dramatically dropped to 4 to 5% once we embedded athletic trainers and staff within the battalions themselves that are out at each PT session, like you would see someone or an athletic trainer with a football team or soccer team communicating with those companies. So yes. Now, since that time, we've stayed pretty steady, gone down as close as 3%. We have gone up a bit, though, since COVID, and we believe a lot of that has to do with the lower level of fitness of recruits. Everyone is still passing the standard when they come in. There are just more that are on the lower end than we have typically had. And so it's to be expected that we're seeing a few more injuries.
Right, and that'll correct itself once we get further away from COVID, I imagine, correct?
Well, it may or may not.
We hope it happens.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not. Interesting.
Well, it goes back to really society in general and like the obesity rates that we're seeing and
because lack of couch potato syndrome or whatever it is.
Yeah, lack of physical fitness in general. Yeah. So we've had some changes in the way that we screen recruits as well with electronic medical records, which have teased out even more recruits than I think we expected or applicants than we expected. But those things are being looked at right now as well. But yeah, I think there are some general concerns with how physically fit the population is that is eligible for service.
There is just no question about that. And do you talk to friendly counterparts? I guess I can consider Canada friendly, hopefully these days. No, but seriously, the ones that, do they do similar programs in the military in Canada or in England or wherever?
Yes, they do. We do actually a lot of research with Naval Health Research Center, and so it's usually through those research entities that we communicate quite a bit with mostly the Royal Marines. Their group was just out about a year ago, but there are lots of conferences where we get to talk with these other entities, and they all have similar challenges, and similar findings that how fit a person comes into the recruit training, however long it is, really is a predictor, which is kind of obvious of how well they're going to do and if they sustain an injury.
Right. Interesting challenge, what you were saying in this. Why did it take so long, Bonnie, for people to understand, okay, we've done boot camp probably since the Marines started, right? All right, that's been a while. And we all know that they have to be in physical shape as they're fighting all these wars and all that. Really, it took us to like the 1997 to figure out how to put athletic trainers and athletic medicine together. Mm-hmm. What took so long?
Melissa?
I think I know how to answer this one, but I'm going to let you answer.
Well, I wasn't there when it started in 1997 here,
right.
But it was, our sports medicine physicians on the Navy side that really pushed for it.
Makes sense.
Not to go too deep into the politics of athletic training, but there's some, areas there where some allied healthcare professionals don't necessarily see the value. But I believe it's just some key personnel, Captain Thomas Belcom, who's now retired, Colonel Brian McGuire from the Marine Corps, who was an athletic trainer himself and really is the one that started our program in the Marine Corps. So it took I think major at the time who was an athletic trainer in the Marine Corps to really express and champion bringing us in. And he really is the one that made it happen.
It makes so much sense. When you think about, how many jobs are you not pushed to the limit in your first 12 and a half weeks? I just got a job at the Union Tribune and you're going to be doing some fitness. I'm in front of a typewriter. What are you talking about, for God's sake, right? On this. And in terms of preventing injuries, obviously doing the program helps too. But how about when you get an injury? And I'll just show you how old I am. A billion years ago, I played basketball. And, of course, when you sprained your ankle, it was walk it off, all right? And you keep on walking it off till you wind up having to have, like I did, a tendon transplant in my ankle because you walked it off all the time. Do you encourage the drill instructors and listen, if somebody is injured, let's take a look at this before you have them walk it off, so to speak. Bonnie?
Yeah, I work with a lot of the athletic trainers, obviously in the training area, and so we communicate well and understanding how to communicate with the drill instructors and recruits to address injuries early, even as something as simple as a blister that could lead to something more serious due to change in movement patterns. So we encourage the drill instructors to communicate that with the recruits. There's mobility exercises that we provide to make sure that they're moving properly so that they're not getting the wrong type of impact through their joints. So just an education piece along with encouraging ice, anti-inflammatory ways to decrease inflammation early, address it in a minor way that doesn't lead to something more serious. And figuring out, is it an injury or are you uncomfortable? Is your muscle sore or are you injured?
Right.
And trying to so that education is really the key component there, and working well with the athletic trainers and communicating back and forth.
Yeah. Well, and I think having the athletic trainers at the PT events, just like you would have an athletic trainer at a football practice, that immediate treatment really prevents that ankle sprain from having to be dropped from training. And so many Marines, managed healthcare is managed healthcare. And so if you try to go to medical today because you sprained your ankle, they're going to see you in 2 weeks. That's just the model. And so that was the really big push for having athletic trainers so that we can get our hands on that ankle sprain right now when 100%. It happens. And that's really where the reduction has come. Also, treating the drill instructors while they're in drill instructor school or while they're a drill instructor and they get injured, and helping them understand that just like an athlete, if the quarterback hurt his finger, it doesn't necessarily mean he's out of the game. We may be able to tape it up, do something to get him back out there. And so it's really helped them, I think, understand too, the sooner I can get this recruit to the athletic trainer, the quicker we can get them back into training and the less likely they are to get dropped.
And so, getting back to what you were talking about, Bonnie, and you sort of alluded to it as well, Melissa, one of the best ways of getting a fit recruit, of course, is can you maybe start in elementary school and being fit when you're going through school as well. Do you work with the schools at all, just in general, just talking about fitness?
No, sorry. Is that for
in the past, I have worked with recruiting stations and working with poolies that are being recruited and giving them education and trying to work with the recruiters as well.
We are involved sometimes with the educators' workshops that come through. Kind of on a separate side, a lot of the athletic training staff will moonlight with traditional athletics. So we do a lot of work with, soccer, lacrosse, football out in the community.
Right. Of course, much has been written about, CTE. And has that been an issue at all? When I look at the pukal sticks, I'm not sure if they're doing pukal stick training anymore.
They are.
They are. Okay. And then they're wearing helmets, of course. I'm assuming they are. Has that been an issue, CTE, at all with the Marines or anyone in the military for training?
I can't say CTE because that's difficult to diagnose.
Until they're gone.
Right.
Right.
But concussions, definitely are something that we're constantly watching for. And really, again, our goal is primary prevention. So pugil sticks, body sparring, any of that kind of martial arts stuff falls under the Martial Arts and Fitness Center of Excellence in Quantico. And we are in continuous communication with them on different policies. Well, they have the main Marine Corps order for MCMAP, but the two depots have more MCMAP sessions than anybody else in the Marine Corps, so we're continuously giving them feedback, specifically on equipment. Should we be using lacrosse helmets versus football helmets, making sure that the drill instructors have the correct size helmet on the recruit.
Makes a difference.
Yeah, and a big factor for that is that the order states that intentional headshots are not allowed. You may have an unintentional headshot, and we understand that's going to happen, but removing intentionality of a headshot has been an important move for us.
Yeah, so the question I ask all of the guests today, and so appreciative of what we've been able to do and chat with. I'll start with you on this, Bonnie. Is there anything our listeners can do that help, support what you do? Obviously, they're not going to come in and be your assistant trainer. I get that. Is there anything that they can do that supports what your efforts are?
I think continuing to encourage the younger populations to stay moving, do sports. You don't need to specialize, but move around. I think we not intentionally are trying to move less for any ill intent, but it's just happening due to life day to day. Don't use fitness as a way to punish. Don't use running for punishment.
That's that's so true. And you're being disciplined. You're not going to be in the corner. You're going to be running 5 miles. Dad, I'm 6 years old. I'm not doing 5 miles. That's great. How about you, Melissa? What can we do to support?
Well, on that same note, food is not a reward or a punishment either, and that's something that we have to learn. But I would agree. Put your phone down and move a little bit or a lot. And to echo what some of the previous guests said, that the Marine Corps is a great opportunity. And, Bonnie and I both have our master's degrees, and, education was our way, but it's not always that for everyone. And, it's been a great opportunity for me, and I'm not a Marine, just working alongside them. So consider it for, your students or your children.
Yeah, and I think, the takeaway on all these wonderful 6 interviews with so many of your just stellar colleagues is there's so much that we do just at MCRD, forget all the other bases around the country in this area. And I will encourage our listeners who hopefully enjoyed this remote, come down and visit MCRD Museum. If you want to do other parts of MCRD with a tour, talk to Joni, who runs the museum, put you in touch with some of the folks. I think it is so cool that what you, Melissa and Bonnie, are doing. Long overdue, but it's here, and I think it's only going to benefit. Who knows? Maybe there are going to be some, civilian, companies that are going to take it, seriously. They're not obviously doing the physical type of stuff that the Marines are doing over there, but just being in shape is going to be better for us. Wishing you nothing but great success moving forward. If we do a return appearance, I would love to have somebody that has benefited from your training, whether it's a DI or it's a recruit, come on and join you if that's something that is interest to yours.
That'd be great.
Very, very good. Melissa Mahoney, Director of MCRD Human Performance Division, and your colleague Bonnie Keating, the Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist for the division. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and this wraps up our very, very fun, hopefully our audience thinks the same thing, remote sponsorships, or broadcast here at the MCRD Museum, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades doing great things in San Diego County.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.